Alright folks, let's talk about Resialiant Jenkins and the absolute mess she created. If you thought the Jenkins family saga was just about questionable parenting choices, you're in for a rude awakening, because today we're diving into something that, quite frankly, makes my blood boil. How they abandoned their cats in the most irresponsible, heartless way possible. And no, we're not sugarcoating this. We're laying out every detail, every inconsistency, and every documented proof that shows just how little Resialiant Jenkins cared about the animals she brought into her home. It's messy, it's infuriating, and it's all on record. Let's get into it. So let's start with the facts. The Jenkins family had 5 cats living in their tiny one-bedroom apartment. Milo, Jasper, Kaias, Onyx, and a black kitten they didn't even bother to name. And instead of doing the responsible thing, like, I don't know, properly rehoming them or taking them to a shelter, they kicked them out like yesterday's trash.
After debating for some time, we decided we will not have indoor cats when we move. Prior to me and Drew getting together, I had 1 cat and he had 1 cat. The cat that he had was a stray that came in from outside, and the cat that I had was a cat that I received from a friend. Becoming a family, we brought in 2 other stray cats, so at one point we did have 4 cats in this apartment. That seriously did not last long, not even more than a couple of weeks, and then my cat Conscious, who's always been a free spirit, wanted to go outside, and so we let her do so. It's always been my opinion that if you have cats and they act like they want to go outside, let them outside, they're animals. And I don't mean for that to sound any bit insensitive. To me, it seems like you're doing the cat a disfavor when they're asking to go outside. That's where they want to be happy, and you're not letting them go. And let's be honest, as much as we love our fur babies, they sure do mess up the inside. I won't miss waking up to cat hair all over my counters. And yes, I am aware that's probably more than likely why we dealt with a flea issue to begin with. We just wanted our kids to experience having their fur babies inside with all the cuddles they wanted. But we feel now it's just the best interest in all of our family members to have them just be outdoor kitties. That does not mean we just stick them outside and not take care of them. Our cats still get plenty of cuddles and they get fed every day. But this way they get to be the free spirits they like to be outside, and we can go about preventing some of the damages that cats bring to a home, as well as all the cat hair.
Now, let's just take a moment to process that. 5 cats in a single cramped apartment. That alone is questionable enough. Because let's be real, how well can you properly care for 5 animals in such a limited space? These are not small, easy to maintain creatures. Cats require space, care, and attention. And when you have 5 in a confined area, their well-being becomes even more delicate. Instead of making the effort to provide them with better features, the Jenkins took the worst approach possible: abandonment. And let's be real, we all know what happens to domestic animals suddenly thrown into the wild. It's not some Disney movie where they embark on a grand adventure and thrive in the wilderness. No, in reality, they starve, they get sick, they face predators, and worst of all, they suffer. The Jenkins didn't just abandon these cats, they sentenced them to unnecessary pain and possible death. Stephanie, being Stephanie, tried to play it off by saying the cats wanted to be outdoor cats.
Do what I can to get into DMs today and try to find somebody who's trying to genuinely, in this area, pick these cats up and give them a better home. Because I really hope that that is the case, that somebody wants to, like I said, pick these cats up, bring them into a better home, and give them a better opportunity.
I mean, really? That's the best she could come up with? A blatant lie? Easily disproven by the way these cats reacted when actual caring humans stepped in to help. These were not wild animals desperate to escape. These were pets used to human care. They were suddenly left to fend for themselves. And let's not forget, if they're truly outdoor cats, why were they visibly distressed, malnourished, and suffering when found? And the thing is, these weren't just any cats. They were pets that had been living indoors, receiving food, affection, and safety. Cats that had no experience surviving outside, no instincts to hunt for food, no understanding of the dangers that lurk in the wild. The Jenkins didn't just set them free, they set them up for suffering. It's the equivalent of tossing a toddler into the woods and expecting them to figure it out. They had no tools to survive, no knowledge of how to find food, no protection from the elements, and the Jenkins knew this.
There's only one thing that I'm not seeing a ton of people talking about, and that is that the cat was found in the moving video. I feel like we just need to bring a little bit more attention to this. So if you slow down the video, because Stephanie made this video super fast, you will see that the cat actually comes in the door. I'll show you the video in a second. The cat comes in the door, it's seen here, and then Drew actually picks it up and throws it back outside. Now, a lot of people aren't talking about this. It's the one thing that stuck out to me. Essentially, we knew they were going going to be evicted. We knew that they were getting the U-Haul. We knew they were going to the hotels. None of that is a surprise. Is it a disappointment? Yes. I want to talk about the cats. The reason that I'm having an issue with this is because Stephanie herself said that these cats were outdoor cats, that they have no desire to be inside, they want to go outside. But I want to ask this: if a cat wanted to be outside, why is it rushing at the door? Why is it waiting at the door? And what does this mean for the cats? Because she said that she called animal control, but then she went onto Facebook, she made a post saying, if somebody actually wants to take the cats, I'll let you take the cats. And then I don't think anybody obviously came forward to take the cats. And so my question is, did they just roll off and leave their cats abandoned at this apartment? I'm gonna show the clip here. Down there at the door, you see the little cat in the little, in between his legs. Then the cat comes forward, is inside the house, kind of scurrying, and then he boots the cat back out. I know that we are not surprised by this, but I want to hear what you guys think about this. I genuinely cannot believe that she would even allow that part of the video in her moving video, knowing that people are picking apart her videos with a fine-tooth comb. This is devastating to me.
It wasn't just a case of irresponsibility, it was outright neglect, and the repercussions of their choices are still unfolding today. And the saddest part, this whole situation was unavoidable. Rehoming pets is not an impossible task. Shelters, rescues, and even social media could have helped, but they didn't even try. They took the laziest, cruelest route possible. With just a few days of effort, they could have easily found willing adopters or taken the proper steps to ensure their pet's safety, but they didn't. They chose to abandon them instead. And now, because of that decision, these poor animals have been left to endure the worst. Every moment spent outside without food, shelter, or warmth is another moment of suffering that could have been prevented. And the most frustrating part, the Jenkins continue to live their lives as if none of this ever happened. No remorse, no accountability, just moving on, while their former pets are left to fight for survival in the world they were never meant to be in. Let's start with the most heartbreaking case. Milo, poor thing, was found in a state that should never happen to a domesticated pet. Emaciated, losing fur, covered in sores, Milo was suffering. When Shailene, the absolute angel in this story, took him in, she wasted no time getting him the medical attention he desperately needed.
Baby, you are so thin. Come here. Okay, let me grab her. Hi. Oh, I want to cry so bad. Hi. Hi, baby. Hi. It's okay. I just want to pet you. Hi. It's okay. And I got her, you guys. Hopefully it will be okay. It's okay. It's okay.
She rushed him to the vet, where he was diagnosed with flea infestation and skin infections. The vet put him on steroids, flea medication, and prescribed a full quarantine to help him heal.
Here at the vet. Milo. Come here, Milo. Milo, hi, baby. We did go to the emergency vet today. He got a shot. They said it was really bad flea infestation and infection to his skin, so he got a shot, and he's on steroids for his skin for the next 5 days.
And because medical treatment isn't cheap, Shailene set up a GoFundMe, which, get this, was fully funded in just hours. That's how much people cared about saving this cat, something Stephanie and Drew clearly didn't. Shailene even got him surgical jammies to stop him from scratching his open wound. And let me tell you, Milo was so comfortable, so trusting, it was obvious he was used to human care. A stray cat doesn't just let you dress it up like that. He wasn't some feral animal begging to be outside. He was a neglected pet who had been cruelly thrown away.
Allergy, that's what they said. Skin infection. He got a shot for the fleas and any type of like worms and stuff like that. And then he also got a flea treatment that he will be getting after he gets his bath. I haven't given him a bath yet. I'm waiting on the Amazon bath thing to come so I can give him one without him kind of scratching me. And then he is on a steroid for 5 days for his skin allergy to help the itching and stuff like that. Chicken foot. Oop. Chicken foot number 2. That's such a good boy. Yeah. You put your little outfit on. Where mommy put your treats? Look at. Okay. Yep.
And here's where it gets even worse. Milo was a gift. That's right. This was a cat that Drew had given Stephanie for her birthday in 2022, and she still abandoned him without a second thought. Milo's journey to recovery was nothing short of miraculous. In just a few weeks, his fur began growing back, his soul started healing, and he regained his strength. He was no longer that frail cat Shailene had picked up from the freezing cold. Instead, he had become a loving, playful pet, finally getting the care he always desired. And the best part? He now had a permanent home. But not all the Jenkins cats were as lucky. Now, let's talk about Onyx. Unlike Milo, Onyx hasn't been found. And that is absolutely terrifying, because if Milo, who was only outside for a couple of days, was already in such a bad condition, what does that mean for Onyx? Despite relentless efforts from Shailene, Sophie, and even the Oregon Humane Society, there's still no trace of this poor cat.
Will we ever find Onyx the cat? Onyx was abandoned along with Milo and 2 other cats from the Jenkins. 2 of the 4 cats was taken in by neighbors at the apartment complex they were living at, and we know Milo is with Shailene. Shailene is trying to find Onyx, the other cat that was abandoned by Stephanie. She made a video going back to the apartment complex trying to look for the cat, and someone really rude was giving her information saying that they saw Stephanie loading a cat into her car when she came to the apartment complex the other day. It has me wondering if this is true. Where is that cat? Where did you bring that cat, Stephanie? I hate to think that she is just so heartless that she would take that cat and just dump it, but that was my first thought, that she didn't want anybody else on the internet to come get her cat, so she moved them out of the area. If she really is this heartless, I don't even know what to say about her anymore. Like, that baby could have been saved also. A quick update on Milo. He is thriving and only has 1 more day of quarantine left. Shailene said his appointment got bumped to Sunday, and at that appointment he will get all of his deworming, ear mites checked, all of that, and be chipped to be officially Shailene's cat. She answered questions that you guys had. No, Milo is not going to be fostered. Milo is adopted. She's keeping Milo. For right now, Milo is on a steroid to help his skin, and he already looks 100 times better than he did when she picked him up. The wounds are healing nicely, and he is happy and loved. Shailene does have another cat, which I'm sure Milo is excited to meet his new brother or sister. And because of all of you here on the internet, Milo's vet bill is paid up for a whole year up front. Shailene thanked everybody, and she is very appreciative. Her Amazon, everybody bought everything on her Amazon list also for the cat. I'm glad at least 3 so far of the cats we know are in homes. Let's find Onyx. For more updates, go ahead and give me a follow, drop a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll be seeing y'all in the next one.
And here's the kicker. Onyx wasn't even a random pet. He was a part of their family. But when they got evicted, instead of making sure he was safe, they just left him behind. Think about that. If Shailene hadn't stepped in, Milo might have been lost forever too. And if Onyx isn't found soon, well, I don't even want to think about it. But we hope he's out there somewhere safe. The search for Onyx has gained traction online, with countless people rallying to help find him. Posters have gone up, volunteers have searched the area, and social media campaigns have urged locals to keep an eye out. Local rescues have even started patrolling the neighborhood in hopes of spotting him, setting humane traps and leaving food out just in case he is still in the area. It's heartbreaking to think about what Onyx might be going through right now. Unlike a feral cat that has adopted to the streets, Onyx had only ever known the safety of an indoor home. He wasn't equipped to survive in the wild, and with predators, harsh weather conditions, and the risk of starvation, every passing day without a sight increases the fear that he might not make it. People have reported seeing black cats in the area, but none have been confirmed as Onyx. The frustration is real. Without a collar or distinctive marking that set him apart, every potential sighting is met with uncertainty. Shailene and Sophie have gone out multiple times responding to calls about possible Onyx sightings, only to leave empty-handed. And let's not forget, this isn't just about a lost cat. This is about accountability. The Jenkins made the choice to abandon Onyx, and even as people work tirelessly to undo their reckless decision, they've shown zero concern. No statements, no attempts to help, nothing. If they cared, they would be out there looking too. But they're not. Time is running out. The longer Onyx stays missing, the more concerning the situation becomes. Will he be found in time, or is this another tragic ending to the Jenkins trail of neglect? One thing is for sure, this fight isn't over. Now, about Jasper and Kaias. According to Stephanie, their neighbors adopted these two, and that is partially true. Jasper was indeed taken in by a neighbor and fully adopted. That's at least one relief in this disaster. He was fortunate enough to land in a home where he would be taken care of properly. But Kaias, that's a different story, one that exposes yet another layer of negligence from the Jenkins. Stephanie claimed Kaias was also adopted, but later reports suggested otherwise. Sophie, who went back to investigate, learned that Kaias was merely being taken care of, not fully adopted, meaning he was still an outdoor cat, left to fend for himself, only receiving occasional food and shelter. In other words, he was not given the security of a forever home, just temporary care that could disappear at any moment. And that's not even the worst part. Kaias was reportedly Stephanie's mother's cat, which should have meant a deeper sense of responsibility. Yet despite that supposed connection, no one in the Jenkins family seemed to care what happened to him. It's almost as if they just left him and assumed someone else would take responsibility without any confirmation that he was actually being looked after. A pet is not an old couch you leave on the crab and hope someone picks up. This uncertainty surrounding Kaias' fate makes it even more unsettling. There were conflicting reports about his whereabouts. Some suggested he had been fully rehomed. Others indicated he was merely being fed by a neighbor who had no intention of taking him in long term. If he had been rehomed properly, why wouldn't Stephanie make that clear? Why wouldn't she at least ensure he was in an apartment, loving home before leaving? Instead, it was as though she couldn't be bothered with the details, pushing off the responsibility onto whoever happened to be around at the time. And then Shailene tried to confirm whether a black cat she found was Kaias. The supposed caretakers refused to answer the door. Suspicious much? If they truly cared about Kaias' well-being, why the secrecy? Why avoid the chance to provide clarity to people who were actively trying to help? This raises serious questions. If they truly cared for Kaias, why not communicate with those looking for him? Why keep things so vague? And more importantly, why didn't Stephanie take proper steps to ensure Kaias had a real home before leaving? This isn't just a case of miscommunication. It's another example of the Jenkins pattern of irresponsibility. They dumped their pets and moved on, leaving it up to the strangers to clean their mess. And Kaias, like Onyx, remains in precarious situation because of without direct confirmation of his adoption, his fate remains uncertain. Yet another casualty of the Jenkins' blatant disregard for the lives they were responsible for. Now, let's talk about the biggest question mark in this home, the black kitten. Stephanie and Drew had shown this kitten in their video, but after they moved, it was like the kitten never existed. No one knows where it went. Was it dumped, given away, left somewhere along the way? The lack of information surrounding this kitten is what makes its disappearance even more unsettling. Unlike Milo and Onyx, where at least have insight to what happened, this kitten just vanished into the thin air. And here's the thing, Stephanie and Drew have never once addressed it. Not a single post, not a single video, not even an offhand comment. It's almost as if they want people to forget the kitten ever existed. But anyone who has been following their story knows better. You don't just misplace an animal. If they had given it away responsibly, wouldn't they have mentioned that at the point? Wouldn't they have at least tried to justify where it went? Instead, there's radio silence. And the silence speaks volumes. Given their track record, it's not looking good. If Milo was found in such a horrific state and Onyx is still missing, what are the chances that this unnamed kitten met a better fate? It's heartbreaking to even consider the possibilities. The lack of transparency only adds to the suspicion. Was this kitten left behind with the others, struggling to survive in the elements? Was it quietly dumped somewhere along their journey? Or did something even worse happen? Without any evidence of its whereabouts, this poor kitten remains one of the biggest unanswered questions in the Jenkins' long list of neglect. And at this point, it seems like we may never know the truth. Now, let's talk about what's really interesting here. The legal side of things. Shailene wasn't just documenting Milo's journey for sympathy. She was gathering evidence. She filed reports with law enforcement backed up by veterinary records, medical expenses, and photographic proof of Milo's condition. And guess what? There's more than enough to hold the Jenkins accountable. If law enforcement decides to pursue an animal abandonment charge, that carries the same punishment. And if the neglect occurred in front of a minor, which surprised it did. This could escalate to a Class C felony, which means up to 5 years in prison and a $125,000 fine. So where does this leave us? Milo is safe. He's healing, gaining weight, and thriving under Shailen's care. His story, while heartbreaking, is proof that there are still good people in the world. Onyx, however, is still missing, and every day that passes makes it less likely he'll be found. Jasper is safe, but Kaias is still in a grey area, left to survive outside. And that black kitten, no one even knows if it's still alive. What do you think? Will they finally be held accountable? Will Onyx ever be found? And do you think this is just the tip of the iceberg with the Jenkins? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe for more updates on this chaotic mess. Because trust me, this isn't over.